Alright, so I think I've got what's going to be my most controversial video so far. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach as a game has mixed reviews, but I feel like most of us in the community either love it or hate that we love it or love to hate it. But as far as theory crafting goes, this game is kind of tricky. I think we can all agree that the lore is kind of a mishmash of stories that were attempted sometime in development, abandoned, scrapped, rehashed, and stitched together. Kind of like them Candy Cadet stories that we talked about in the last FNAF theory. But I think we can all agree that the story definitely changed several times during development. I mean, for evidence of that, look at the first trailer.
You will do as I say. You will bring me what I want. And if you fail me, then you will, both of you, burn!
That doesn't appear in game. Is that Monty ordering the others? Is that Willie? Is that Billy A? That geezer's bossing people around? Like, it's confusing. We really only have a few things people agree on, and note, I'm saying agree on, not confirmed. There's like nothing confirmed for the lore of this game in the entire franchise, let alone this game. I know something we mostly agree on, now that I made that banger video 2 weeks ago. You can link in the, oh shit, it's mirrored. There, link there for that banger video about Vanessa and Vanny being the same person. I've settled that. We all agree on that now. The entire community. Everyone's watched it. So, I'm gonna put on my blindfold, swing a bat at a wasp's nest, and just kinda make a mess. Because something else most people agree on, and I think for a time I agreed on as well, was that Glamrock Freddy is currently being haunted by the spirit of Michael Afton. But is he though? We don't have a confirmation of it, and the evidence we have, I feel, is circumstantial. We have just as much evidence for someone else. I know a lot of people on Reddit, and I'm pretty sure Game Theory and a few other people agree that story-wise, it's very satisfying for Michael to be within this Glamrock Freddy animatronic. I mean, he's the guy who accidentally killed his kid brother. He's done plenty of work to make up for his crimes, and now, as a spirit, he gets a second chance. I think it's a great story, but is it what's happening here? I don't think so. But at least, I think there's another theory that has just as much valid evidence. And I think it shows that someone else might be haunting Glamrock Freddy. Someone we haven't met yet. Before we get into it, I'm Rytoast, and if you hate this theory, then I'm Game Theory. Direct all your hate towards them. I'm kidding, but if you like this theory, you should leave a like on the video and comment and maybe, you know, find that subscribe button, take it out to a nice dinner. Pay, leave a good tip, leave a good impression. To the subscribe button, I'm not begging for donations, don't worry. I only do that on Twitch. Anyway, let's get to the theory. First, let's talk about why people think Michael Afton is haunting Glamrock Freddy. Story-wise, like we mentioned in the intro of the video, it makes a lot of sense. It also makes for a very satisfying conclusion of the game, but that's not the only evidence. There is evidence within the game. First off, throughout the entire game, Freddy is the only animatronic that doesn't actively seek to harm Gregory at any point, except when you're repairing him, or when he runs out of battery, or when William takes him over. But he also acts in ways that you wouldn't expect an animatronic to do. He directly disobeys orders from a superior.
I told you she was after me.
I said nothing. I will keep you safe. Let us go.
He puts Gregory inside his chest, which is like definitely against security protocol. And even though he directly states that it's against his programming to leave, he does in one of the endings. He hops in a van and lets a child drive, which, hey, Quick side note, if an entire segment of the game is based around the fact that Gregory cannot drive a go-kart, the fuck is he driving a van? Anyway, some people attribute this to Michael's spirit within Freddy getting stronger and stronger. Kind of like how when William's presence over Freddy becomes strong, Freddy is then able to act even more erratically, harming a child, something he directly states is against all of the other robotics programmings to do. Valid point. Another piece of evidence is this hill scene at the end, which admittedly is odd. I don't know about you, but when I see this hill, straight up red flags are going off in my head. Like, it looks identical. If this isn't supposed to mean something, this is the meanest, biggest red herring, pull the tablecloth out ever. Like, it's just rude if this isn't supposed to mean something. There are people that posit this is supposed to be an allusion to the Afton kids, whether literally or metaphorically. We see Gregory biting the head off of a popsicle, alluding to Evan, who got his head bitten off. We see two other people, the older male and the older female, alluding to the other Afton children, being Michael and Elizabeth. There are some people who think that these are all literally Afton spawns, whether in robotic form or spirit form. I don't think that's true. But there's at least strong evidence that this is a direct allusion to Evan, Michael, Elizabeth. And if that's true, That'd be more evidence for Michael being within Freddy. Then last, as far as I'm aware, the strongest piece of evidence for the Michael Afton is within Glamrock Freddy is this speech at the end.
I know what this is. I have been here before. She brought me here. I found myself for the first time when I cleared the path. I did not want to, but I had no choice. Now I have a choice. I have changed. My friends are here. They are so angry, confused. But I can protect you. I am not me.
We get this speech on our way to the Burn Trap boss fight right as we're passing the blob. The people who believe that Michael is within Freddy are saying that this is Michael Afton's spirit, recognizing his original friends' spirits who were from... stick with me. From the original animatronics, then melted down and split up into the Funtime animatronics, and then recombined into a spaghetti monster of Ennard, and then through several trials and tribulations becoming Molten Freddy, and then melting down at FNAF 6 and turning into the Blob. We really need some new Kid Souls in this series. Like, at this point, they're getting reused and... oh my god. Okay, so this is for sure an accident. Like, I will be cold in the grave before I accept that Scott planned this out since FNAF 2. I don't think he had a story written until FNAF 3, frankly. But anyway, you could argue that Mangle is an illusion for the entirety of this franchise, at least of the first 5 victims, because they keep getting pulled apart and put back together again, until the final creation has no free will, direction, or motive, just anger and violence. Mangle solves everything. Anyway, all this to say, there is evidence within the game to say that Michael Afton could be possessing Freddy. I mean, if all the other souls are there, Michael Afton's soul would have been there too, so it kind of makes sense. Now, I do think this is a good way to look at the game, but I don't think it's the only way. I think there are other options here. I mean, there's the option that Freddy isn't haunted at all, which could be a possibility, but it seems he does too many weird things for that to happen, in my opinion. I think there could be a different soul haunting Freddy. A soul of a person we haven't met yet. At least not directly. And that person is Jeremy. No, not that Jeremy. Or that Jeremy. No, this Jeremy.
Jeremy used to do design work.
God, we really need different names in this franchise. And people still think Scott doesn't do coincidences. I mean, we have 3 Jeremys. Anyways, let's dive into who that person is. Now, straight up, we don't know much about this guy. Canon-wise, all we directly know is that he was the first tester that we know of for FNAF VR Help Wanted. Furthermore, we know that Glitchtrap was trying to possess him, however he broke out of it just at the last moment by slicing his face off to get out of the game physically. I don't know about you, but if I were to slice my face off, I don't think I would survive. I think it's safe to assume Jeremy died. Now, what do we know happens when somebody in this franchise dies on a Fazbear technology? They go on to haunt it. It's not outside the realm of possibility that Jeremy, this tester's soul, is after this point linked or attached to either Glitchtrap, William, or the VR game in general. And we also know that this game is made by the same company who went on to create the Pizzaplex, and this company is well known for reusing things as they already have. We have direct evidence of this. So it's not impossible to assume that this company would use whatever items they had in their disposal, be it leftover parts that were used to scan into the VR game, or even programming from the VR game in the new Pizzaplex for their animatronics and for their games. Just to be clear, Cassidy is in the Pizzaplex. The only way that could have happened is if she got scanned in, because she's within the arcade machines. So we know, nearly for a fact, that in building the Pizzaplex, they scanned parts from either the VR game or leftover parts from that burning. Probably also the VR game. Part of me thinks this constant reusing of technology and rescanning is on purpose to create more ghosts, but we'll get into that in a later video. You should subscribe so you can see it later. So, I hear you. Riley, this is a stretch. Sure, maybe Jeremy got stuck in this game. And sure, maybe on some slight chance, he got scanned in at some point in creating the Pizzaplex. How the hell did he get inside of Freddy? Well, one of the endings that you can possibly get in VR Help Wanted is when you just play the game normally. Just playing the game normally to completion, you get the Pizza Party ending. and if you do what Glitchtrap says, he puts you inside a Freddy suit, and you perform for him. When people talk about Vanessa, or whoever we're playing as in that game, they always consider the endings where we either become or be put in the consciousness of Glitchtrap, or get trapped. I feel like most people skip over this third ending, only bringing up this ending when they talk about the update that lets you escape the game and see the Pizzaplex being built. But the actual ending where you get stuffed, most people just go, oh, that's just game stuff. What if this third ending is for Jeremy, the tester? He's been stuck here this whole time, trapped by Glitchtrap, taunted by him, to make fun of him, thinking that he could best Glitchtrap. How dare he? So he stuffs him into the Freddy suit within the game and keeps him there as a plaything, constantly making him perform and perform and perform. And each performance, he gets announced.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Fazbear Entertainment would like you to put your hands together for the one, the only.
Okay, so we have a theory that Jeremy's soul is attached to the Freddy AI within this game. And we also have a theory that AI and programming may have been ripped from this game to build the Pizzaplex on its animatronics. So, who's to say that when they scanned Freddy AI to shortcut building Glamrock Freddy, they injected it into this animatronic, put the AI straight in. We already have AI built, it's in the game, just put it into the animatronic and tweak it. And in doing so, poured Jeremy into the Glamrock Freddy suit. So that's all well and good, but what makes his soul wake up? Why does he suddenly start slowly taking over Glamrock Freddy? Like a sleeper agent. Something triggered it. What do we hear right before the performance where Glamrock Freddy glitches out at the beginning of the game?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Fazbear Entertainment would like you to put your hands together for the one, the only, Freddy Fazbear.
Sound familiar? I think it's that audio cue that awoke this trapped and just ridiculed Jeremy's soul, who has been performing as Freddy this whole time, and throughout the game he gains more and more of his consciousness back. So what about the other evidence? Sure, this is a fine story, it's barely has any evidence so far. I got the audio cue, I think that's pretty cool, but that's not really hard evidence. What about the points that were brought up earlier? Well, let's interpret them as if Jeremy was the one inside of the Fredbear suit. Oh god. The Glamrock Freddy suit. Fredbear's a whole nother animatronic. We need more characters in this goddamn game. Well, as far as the hill goes, I think most people agree that Vanessa isn't literally Elizabeth Afton. So it's not a far stretch to dismiss that whole piece of evidence by saying, well, Glamrock Freddy isn't literally Michael Afton. It's an illusion. A, not I. Well, the Freddy head isn't literally Michael Afton. The Fred, if you will. So if Jeremy is within Freddy, why does he call the Blob his friends, who are ostensibly made up of souls of Michael Afton's friends, and some other kids that were killed along the way? Who's to say Glamrock Freddy is talking about the Blob? Throughout the game, Freddy refers to the other animatronics vehemently as his friends, and is concerned over their well-being, and really concerned when Gregory just casually mentions killing them in front of him, which, by the way, dick move, Gregory. So is it not likely that during this speech, it's mostly Glamrock Freddy, saying that his friends, the other animatronics, are down here, hurt, and scared? That makes perfect sense. The I am not me line could also be referring to the fact that William is trying to take him over, or it could even be Jeremy trying to break out. So that's the theory, in its entirety. It's a little bit crackpot, but I like it. And if you like it, leave a like and comment. Pretty please. And if you don't like it, remember that game theory said it, not me. They didn't say give me credit for this. For real though, hope you enjoyed the video. For the record, I still believe that either Michael is haunting Freddy or nobody is haunting Freddy. I don't actually think Jeremy is. I just think it's a really interesting thing to talk about. My big question is, why are kids still going missing? Like, there's 9 missing kids. Where are they going? What are they being used for? They're never mentioned in the game. Regardless, big shout out to all my patron. Emberisk, you're a real one. And I'll see you on the flip side. Stay toasty.